What if the person you loved most turned your deepest insecurities into a public spectacle, only for a stranger to unveil a truth that changes everything? I stood at the edge of the grand ballroom, the clink of champagne glasses and laughter swirling around me like a storm I couldn't escape. My brother Ethan's wedding was everything he'd boasted it would be: lavish, ostentatious, a monument to his success. The venue dripped with opulence. Crystal chandeliers cast golden light over tables adorned with orchids, and guests in designer suits and gowns floated through the room like they belonged in a dream. I, on the other hand, felt like an outsider in my rented tuxedo, the cuffs slightly frayed, my shoes scuffed from years of use. Ethan had always been the golden child, charismatic, successful, the one our parents pinned their hopes on. I was just Caleb, the quiet younger brother who never quite measured up. As kids, we'd been close. Ethan would defend me when bullies circled, his arms slung protectively over my shoulder. But as we grew older, the gap widened. He climbed corporate ladders while I struggled through odd jobs, my dreams of writing a novel gathering dust in a drawer. Tonight, though, I'd hoped for a truce. It was his wedding, after all, a day for family, for love. I was wrong. The toast began, and Ethan took the microphone, his grin wide as he surveyed the room. His bride, Sophia, glowed beside him, her diamond tiara catching the light. He started with the usual thanks, his voice smooth and commanding. Then his eyes landed on me, and his smile sharpened. "And let's not forget my little brother, Caleb," he said, his tone dripping with mockery. "Still chasing dreams, aren't you? Don't worry, folks, he's got a great job delivering pizzas." The room erupted in laughter, the sound piercing me like shards of glass. My face burned as I gripped my glass, forcing a smile to hide the sting. He wasn't done. "Caleb's always been, let's say, unremarkable. But we love him anyway, right?" More laughter. I wanted to disappear. I'd spent years swallowing Ethan's jabs, convincing myself they were just his humor. But this was different. This was public, deliberate, a knife twisted in front of everyone who mattered to him. I stood frozen, the weight of every eye in the room pressing down on me. Then, from a nearby table, a man stood up. He was older, maybe in his 60s, with silver hair and a presence that silenced the room. His suit screamed wealth, but his eyes held something deeper: authority, maybe, or wisdom. "Excuse me," he said, his voice calm but commanding. The chatter died instantly. I couldn't help but overhear. "Ethan, is it? You seem to have misunderstood your brother." My heart pounded. The name hit the room like a thunderclap. Richard Hawthorne, the billionaire philanthropist, the man behind half the city's skyline and countless charities. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Ethan's smirk faltered. "I've been following your work," Hawthorne continued, addressing me directly. "Not your pizza deliveries, though I'm sure you're excellent at that. Your writing. The manuscript you submitted to the Horizon Literary Grant last year." My breath caught. I'd sent that manuscript on a whim, a desperate hope, never expecting anyone to read it. "It was one of the most moving stories I've ever read," Hawthorne said. "Raw, honest, human. I've been trying to track you down to offer you a publishing deal with my foundation. And a fellowship, fully funded." The room was silent now, every eye on me. Ethan's face was a mask of shock, his bride's hand frozen on his arm. I felt the ground shift beneath me, years of self-doubt cracking like ice. "You read my work?" I managed, my voice barely a whisper. Hawthorne smiled. "I did. And I see a man who's been underestimated, not just by others, but by himself. You're not unremarkable, Caleb. You're extraordinary." Tears pricked my eyes, but I held them back. The room felt different now, the laughter replaced by murmurs of awe. Ethan tried to recover, stammering something about being proud, but his words fell flat. Hawthorne approached me, placing a hand on my shoulder. "Let's talk tomorrow," he said quietly. "You have a future waiting." As he walked away, the crowd parted for him, and I felt something shift inside me. For years, I'd let Ethan's shadow define me, let his words chip away at my worth. But now, standing in that glittering ballroom, I saw myself through someone else's eyes, not as a failure, but as a storyteller, a dreamer, a man with something to say. I didn't confront Ethan that night. I didn't need to. His mockery had backfired, exposing his cruelty and my resilience. As the band started up again, I slipped out into the cool night air, my heart pounding with possibility. The stars above seemed brighter, like they were winking at me, whispering that this was just the beginning. Maybe I wasn't the golden child. Maybe I'd never be. But I was Caleb, and for the first time, that was enough. The world was waiting for my story, not just the one I'd written, but the one I was about to live.